So there will be a lot of combinations of control and what will be the topology of the network and how many number of landmarks are required for the observability. So it is really important to find simple conditions, and using them you can say, okay, this system is completely observable. And irrespective of what technique you use, EKF or particle filter, the system should be observable if you want your states to be bounded. So this is our first objective, first problem. So what I do is we divide this problem into subparts. So the whole thing will be find how many number of linearly independent rows a particular edge contributes to the observability matrix. So we start with an edge between two vehicles, and this is the joint state for two systems, and we can write the kinematics for two vehicles in this form, and this is the measurement, which is this thing, and we use Lie derivatives to find this matrix, which is the observability matrix. And we don't include other terms because the Lie derivatives, higher Lie derivatives will are linearly dependent on these rows, which is like a more detailed explanation is given in dissertation. So now the objective is to find how many rows to control to obtain this controller here, to derive this controller here. And see, only information we need is the eta, and objective is to take this eta to the eta desired, and rho min, if rho min is greater than 0 and beta is greater than 0, this will guarantee that the eta head will be bounded. The difference between eta head and eta desired will be bounded. So this graph shows, so this is the controller earlier derived by Jeff Sanders. He was also previous Magic Lab student. So he had this controller, and you can see that it requires range measurement from it. And the correction we did was we used sliding mode controller, and we only, this rho min is just a constant, any constant here, and so using this controller we can get the trajectory similar to this. So this is the obstacle, the black solid, and the blue one is using this controller, blue solid curve, and the red dashed curve is using this controller. And you'll see that it still does pretty good job, and it does not like bump into the obstacle. So you can see that the safe distance is maintained here. Both the curves like actually it's the same. So there is no need of basically range information. So now the next thing is like not all the obstacles can be modeled as cylindrical obstacles in urban environment. We have in urban environment you have, if something is moving in like in a canyon or near to the walls, in that case you cannot model it as a cylindrical obstacle. So it won't be a good idea to move around that large obstacle. So it will be nice if you can follow a particular wall at a safe distance and fly along it using. So our objective is how you can do that using bearing measurement. Okay. So in this case, how this is like a wall of a given orientation, and we assume that there is a virtual obstacle of radius r moving on this wall, and the velocity of this obstacle will be the projection of UAV's velocity on the wall. Okay. So that is VW, which is given as projection of velocity. And the R min here is the closest distance of UAV to the wall. So the R min should be greater than 0 to avoid the obstacle. So we do the same thing we did for the cylindrical obstacle. Now this obstacle is moving. Earlier it was constant, and we write down these relative equation of motion for between UAV and the edge of that moving obstacle, and we derive this controller here. And the thing here I want to point out, if VW is 0, like if the obstacle is stationary, this formula will convert to the cylindrical obstacle formula. and this guarantees us that this will remain bounded and your heading of the vehicle will converge parallel to the wall. We can see in this simulation result here. So blue is when you consider both range and bearing measurement. This is the wall, and the uncertainty will definitely depend on its position in the graph. So it will be a nice idea to explore that thing, whether how the position of a vehicle in the graph characterizes its uncertainty. Second thing, I'm pretty sure that because I'm using a graph, and we know that a Laplacian of the graph, the eigenvalues of Laplacian of the graph will definitely have some role to play in this. So how can we use those eigenvalues to characterize the uncertainty? Third one is we'll have these conditions now. Now we can use these conditions for path planning, such that explore how this technique can be used for moving obstacles. So in dynamic environments. So these are the 5 journal papers which this work is reported. These 3 are already we have submitted, 2 are accepted. This is in review, and this maybe most probably next week I will submit these papers and related conference papers. Thank you.